Hey guys, it's Maya from Cafe, and I know I haven't been making my YouTube videos as much, but you will see me on YouTube all this week because there is a lot to discuss. So in this video, I'm going to go over a tweet from Warren Davis because he has proposed the SEC Stabilization Act to restructure the SEC and Gary Gensler, and fire Gary Gensler. So this is a huge deal because I think there's a lot of confusion going on. A lot of people don't understand that Gary Gensler is not Congress. He can't really determine so let's back. When the Securities and Exchange Commission was created, like 1920s, 1930s, blockchain technology did not exist. So to say that this new asset class falls upon the Howey test, and it doesn't even meet the prongs, which is like the expectation of profit. There is no expectation. You could lose everything in crypto. Let's know that. Investment contract. There is no investment contract. You are literally converting fiat to a cryptocurrency. There is no contract because at the end of the day, if it was a contract, we wouldn't be able to sell our cryptocurrencies in the free market at any point in time. So just upon those few basics, this man is wrong, and he knows he's wrong because this man used to be a blockchain professor at MIT. So not only is this man wrong towards his regulatory approach towards crypto assets and blanket labeling them securities, he also is aware that he is wrong and doing this for other reasons that we're not currently aware of. Because if you have education, you study blockchain technology, you would know based upon those effects alone that it is not, it's not defined as a security. So I'm going to reread Warren Davidson's comments about it. The bill isn't out. I think they just released, he put it into however they put bills in. So I can't find the document just yet, but when I do, I'll be reading it verbatim. So I'm just going to share his tweet really quickly. Okay, so it says today I filed the SEC Stabilization Act to restructure the SEC and fire Gary Gensler. U.S. capital markets must be protected from a tyrannical chairman, including the current one. It is time for real reform and to fire Gary Gensler as the chair of the SEC. So, I think. And then Warren Davidson continues to say Tom Emmer, and Tom Emmer was the one at a congressional hearing a few weeks ago that blankly, point blank called Gary out and was like, what have you done to protect people? Like, where's your direction? And he, like everyone else was watching, was very upset that Gary refuses to answer direct questions about his reasoning for declaring things securities. And it's really hard for you to walk around calling things securities, but you're not sharing the contingency in which you view these things. So it's just like, so we're just supposed to take your word for it? Like every asset security without having a fundamental definition as to what a security looks like upon a crypto-based asset. And it's like, it's insane for you to be able to quickly call them securities, but show no form or documentation as to how you grasp this, even though each cryptocurrency is virtually a little bit different as to how they, disperse tokens, how each blockchain works and how each one was created. They're all different. So to put a blanket label, and then even if they are securities, you're not offering a way for them to become like unsecuritized, like if they become decentralized, essentially they wouldn't be securities. What pathway is that? That's not even something that's contingent. And it's like you can't have it one ways. You can't define everything as security, then not provide a plan what they would do as a security, and then just destroy the market and cause panic. So Tom Embers joined me in this critical fight to protect our market. American investors and industry deserves a clear and consistent oversight, not political gamemanship. The SEC Stabilization Act will make common sense changes to ensure that SEC priorities are with investors that are charged to protect, not the whims of its reckless chair. Go to another tweet because. So yeah, the new structure was really interesting. So it was a provision where there's no head chair. Instead, there are 3 commissioners from both sides, Democrat and Republican, as to see that no party fills all chairs with whatever agenda that they have, and then they have to go through an executive director, which I think is great. There needs to be a reliable person to effectively work with these people. And then I have to find another tweet that was very specific as to what they wanted to do. But I think this is actually a really great proposal. Because at the end of the day, the FCC should be essentially decentralized. It should be a situation where they come together with a framework and try to work with the markets. And enforcement by regulation by enforcement is not healthy. It's not logical, and it's not fostering a healthy environment. You're just going to force everyone to leave. Okay, so Davis and Emmer's bill would remove Gensler from his position, leading the SEC to restructure the commissions by distributing the power from the chair to other commissions and adding a sixth commissioner to the body, and create an executive director position to oversee day-to-day operations. Cool. Like, what do they do now? Like, that seems logical. I'm very confused as to what do they do now. Commissioners would still have rulemaking, investigating, and enforcement authority. They'd be subjected to a staggering 6-year term. Additionally, the SEC Stabilization Act would prevent any political party from controlling more than 3 seats on the commission, and would implement a structure similar to the Federal Elections Commission. The SEC did not decline to comment on this. Gensler was recently grilled at the House Appropriations Subcommittee by Byron Donalds. I don't like Byron Donalds for anything aside for crypto, by the way. I watched him and I was like, oh, he could advocate for that, and then his other beliefs, oh no, just saying, because it's call me thing. And the skill policy, I don't understand why that was even brought up at a hearing regarding his regulatory priorities. So focus on the issue at hand. So yeah, that's it. I think this is a great step forward. So the same way the SEC is proposing bills for whatever they believe, we need to be doing legislation and bills on the other side. So I love that other House members are coming forward with, they're like, well, if the SEC isn't going to make proper regulation or, be helpful in this scenario, we're just going to go around them. And that's the same thing we saw last week with the CFTC having a meeting to propose regulatory clarity and the stablecoin bill that I believe is being worked on. And if they're not going to do it, someone will, because at the end of the day, they can't just kick out crypto. That isn't the solution. Other countries will still use crypto, blockchain infrastructure. It's here to stay, and it's just like what they're doing is going to hold our country back for a decade if they keep going on like this. The technology will flee this country. The innovation will flee this country, and I think a lot of people, myself included, do not want to see that happen. And I'm very glad that there are people that are listening to our concerns and they're taking this seriously, and they're also seeing eye to eye with what the problem is, which is the SEC and Gary Gensler. Okay, thank you guys for watching, and I will be making a video on the hidden emails as well. So stay tuned. Okay, bye guys. Follow us on Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter. Bye.